セガサターンシロ
Welcome to another fantastic SHIRO show. I'm Dave, and this is TraynoCo. How's it going, guys?
What's up, guys? It's opposites day.
Yeah, it's opposite day. I need this hat. I don't have a... I'll use... This is my hat. It says...
Pat's in the driver's seat,
yeah.
so I'm just gonna relax here. Go along for the ride today.
Yeah, let me go. Let me get the... I'm trying to get the... oh, heck. Padres. I put Padres logo hats into here. I'm trying to get it on my... here we go.
Nice.
Right here. Put that...
There you go.
There.
You're set.
Got my hat right there. I'll zoom in on it. There we go. How's it going, guys? I'm Dave. Here's my Padres hat. I have the worst team in the MLB, and I am fine with it. All right. But yeah, welcome to a new SHIRO show, guys. Everything's going good. You want to tell us what you've been up to, Dave? Besides, unfortunately, being a Padres fan, which I know you can't do much about, but you know.
Well,
what you gonna do?
Now that Pat is running now that Pat's in the driver's seat, I'm basically sending audio directly into Discord, so you guys might be able to hear the chickens that are like in the garage with me right over there. I've got like 6 little chickens, and they are just hanging out, doing their chicken thing.
They're chicking it out.
And Pat is messing around with the browser.
I forgot to do this when I was going live, so guess we're doing live.
You gotta squish it so it's thinner, and then that
yeah.
Twitter part will... No. Well, the Twitter thing will drop off if you just resize the browser
window.
window.
The browser, yeah.
Yeah, your actual browser window, you need to resize it so that the...
There we go. Perfect.
See?
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Dave, you do the stalling while I do the setup.
So, yeah, so chickens, yeah. You know, they scratch, and they do, I don't know, they're not mine, they're my wife's, but anyway, I guess you could say that they're that I'm kind of along for the ride with that. And
Your one flew over the, your one, was it one over, one thing
flew over the cuckoo's nest?
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Oh man, Pat. But let me see, what else? I don't know. Work. Same old.
If you kick one of the chickens, do they all swarm you?
If you right, like cuckoos in Zelda, like if I wonder about that. If I could, like, you know, if somebody was breaking into my house, would all the cuckoos attack the criminal? I don't know. Yeah, no, I haven't tried kicking any of the chickens yet. We'll see. But right now, I'm kind of like the bad guy. Like they're afraid of me. They like my wife, but whenever I come around, they're just like,
I'm not a bad guy. Duh, dude. Do. Sorry, I had to do that.
No, but I mean, aside from that, just, you know, playing some Metroid Dread on the Switch. That's fun. You know, I'm pretty much done with my revisit to Breath of the Wild. That was fun. I'm trying to get back into Final Fantasy 12 as well. Playing a bunch of Switch games, basically. Still don't have my Saturn set up, which is a shame. As Pat would say, it's a real sadness.
It's a big sadness. Big sadness energy.
That I don't have my Saturn
big sad. Big depressing. Big sad.
Essentially, it's right here in front of me, right? Like, I have my 2 huge CRTs right in front of me, but they're just kind of like sitting on this like small.
They should be sitting in the garbage can.
What I need to do is I need to get on OfferUp and try to find a really nice entertainment center kind of thing to stick my CRTs in and all my consoles. I don't have something like that yet, so I'm kind of stalling and waiting for the right piece of furniture to come up. So that
you didn't want to buy that $250 CRT that you saw? Not a good deal?
I do want to. I would love to have that thing. Yeah. So I was showing Pat this Sharp. I don't even remember the model number, but I mean, it was like that red wine color, just like the Famicom, and it was like a Sharp 14-inch CRT, really cute. Just beautiful CRT, and it was in excellent condition, but a guy wanted like $250 for it, and it's not. Let me tell you, I mean, and he was using all the game lingo, like gaming TV, and he had it like with a little 90s or 80s Walkman, you know, and everything. He was really like trying to bait it, but I'm sorry, like I'm not gonna pay $250 for a 14-inch CRT like that. You know,
you should.
It was like a
14 inches.
It is a 14-inch consumer CRT, mind you.
For 200.
For 250, it looked. It's more of a collector's piece, honestly, because of the color and because of the styling and everything like that. It's like an 80s sharp consumer CRT, but it's like in pristine condition.
Yeah, but at 14 inches, you have to like squint to make anything out.
That's why you put it directly in front of your face.
That's really not true, Emerald. The point, the truth is that line density being what it is on those smaller screens, a lot of times they look much better than the blurry mess you get on like 32-inch consumer CRTs.
It's a lot sharper, yeah.
It's a lot sharper. So you get you maybe they're not like high resolution, but they're really dense, you know. So
they're dense. They're dummy thick.
When it comes to like those
kids
big
use
ones,
nowadays.
when it comes to like those larger size, anything over like 22 inches, it's nice to have the more TV lines like of the BVMs, because then you know it looks really nice. But you know, you get into those consumer sets that are like over 32 inches, and it actually a lot of times it can be a little blurry just because they're not very dense.
Bigger is not always better, as they say.
Also, it'll break my back. Have you ever seen that? Have you ever seen the GIF or like the video of the dude who's like, "Oh yeah, I'm just gonna lift up this huge CRT," and then he like falls backwards, just smashes the darn thing, you know?
That's why you gotta do your deadlifts, people. Do the deadlifts, get that back in the shape, and lift those CRTs.
I'm not gonna lie, I almost did that with the chicken coop. Like when I went to pick up this chicken coop, the coop itself, no problem. But the dude had these huge panels, wood and chicken wire and everything like that. These huge panels that you nail them all together and it creates the enclosure that you walk into. So he was boosting it over the fence and he's like, "Here, take it." And I took it and I almost fell backwards. It was that heavy. I was like lifting it by myself and I was like, "Oh shit, this is not going well."
Come on, California boy, you can't lift those chicken coops.
It was just a lot heavier than it looked. I was like thinking, "Oh, this is gonna be like balsa wood. It's a frame and a bunch of chicken wire." But no, it was actually like quite heavy.
It's as heavy as in a heavy situation as it's like dubious, or it's heavy as in it weighs a lot, like, you know, like Back to the Future 2.
Both.
Gotcha. Both. It was a heavy situation for sure.
But yeah. So yeah, that's I don't know if I forgot anything, but that's me in a nutshell. And Pat is running the show because his internet is better. So and he looks sexy.
I wouldn't go
Right,
that
Pat?
far. I trimmed my beard and I messed it up. It's not as good of a beard as I was hoping it would come out to.
I don't have to like recolor Pat though. Like what you're seeing now is like the true color of his webcam. So that's a good thing.
That's the true Pat color.
That's the
Hashtag true Pat color. The
You
only
could take
issue,
a color picker. You could take a color picker in like Photoshop and grab it and yoink it, and that would be Pat Pink. You know. Right
yeah,
there.
it'd be like if you rip off my skin and wear it. Okay, that's got weird. Sorry about that. Don't rip off my skin.
We're literally just vamping here.
But yeah,
there's not that much to talk about today.
Yeah, there is stuff, but we don't have news.
There is stuff. Yeah.
Unfortunately. But we got a little bit. But yeah, everything's good on my end. Had some situations that weren't great that came up, but I'm moving through it. Getting through it and not being sad. Trying not to be. But pretty good. I've been playing a lot of Magic again. Getting back in the Magic Gathering, doing Commander. So that's been pretty fun doing that, and you know, doing a bunch of jazz stuff. Actually, they announced a new record from it's like the UHQ or the High Quality Records from Analog Productions. They announced Jimi Hendrix. Are You Experienced?
Nice. Okay, now I have that album, but I it's an original. But this is what, a repressing of that album?
It's technically a repress, but a high quality,
like 180 gram HQ.
Yeah,
it'll probably sound better than the original for sure.
Let me see if I can get a. I'm trying to get the picture of it, but it's kind of like my search experience. My searching is not good today, or I don't know how to spell Jimi Hendrix. So
without looking, can you tell me? Can you tell me? Oh, you are looking though. You're online looking at it. I was gonna say, can you tell me the difference in what track is first in the U.S. version versus what track is first in the UK version?
The first track on the U.S. version, I believe, is Purple Haze, and I forgot what the
Correct.
the US one was off the top of my head,
I
unfortunately.
believe the UK had Foxy Lady.
Oh, was it
in
Foxy
number
Lady?
one. I believe so.
Kind of a bold one, but yeah, here it is right here. The Jimi
Yeah.
Hendrix Are You Experienced packaged. It's been this cool
I
vinyl
think,
box.
I mean, no offense, I love Foxy Lady, but I think that like bum,
Dun, 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 just comes out really good.
I think that's really like a best first track to be introduced to this band, you know, back in the day. But yeah, the UK had like Foxy Lady number one, and I mean that's still a good introduction to the band. It's just interesting that they chose to do that.
Yeah, so this one's the US version of it. It's got this whole box set. I wish I can go further. It's like this whole thing. It's about $125, sadly, so it's about $125. So if you want to... And the thing is that, in all honesty, if you just want a really good analog product, they have the original analog version of it on here for about 19 bucks. Like, readily available. So if you want, you know, all analog mastering by George Marino, it's right here. It's stereo, but it's the same thing. Like I said, this is a lot cheaper. It's a 19 bucks, 20 bucks. So it's a win-win. It's only really if you're a giant Jimmy head, which honestly, I'm not a big Jimi Hendrix guy, to be honest. That might be blasphemous to some people, but it's not my cup of tea, sadly.
Really? But we're talking about it, and you're not even a Jimmy fan?
I think it's just neat. I think it's a really cool product, and I like it, but I'm not $125 deep into Jimmy fan.
Okay, if you're like a moderate Jimi Hendrix fan, what would you say is your favorite track of his?
Probably Purple Haze is one of my favorites. I really like it. That one or the one after that. I forgot what it was. The dun 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 dun. Manic Depression is really good.
Oh, okay, yeah. I would have to say mine is Little Wing, and I really like the version that Stevie Ray Vaughan covered of it too. But I would probably still go with the original track. Oh, All Along the Watchtower is a really good track.
Isn't that technically a Bob Dylan original too?
It is. And is it an original Bob Dylan or is it Arlo Guthrie?
I think so. And then Bob Dylan
right
covers it. I think
everybody covered everybody. It's like you know, nothing's really changed. Rap scene is the same. You know, lift beats from different folks and stuff like that. But yeah, no.
I do like how a lot of people do cover a lot of Bob Dylan stuff. Like he did a House of the Rising Sun. He did In My Time a Dying. He did All Along the Watch. So there's so many Bob Dylan stuff that people, I wouldn't say covered, but people also played. Because like In My Time a Dying obviously is not a Bob Dylan song. I don't think All Along the Watchtower is either. Yeah. And I'm not, and House of the Rising Sun I don't think either, but I might be wrong on that.
Right. I mean, yeah, back then with the folk music craze, it was just like different artists covering each other. You had like Joni Mitchell covering Bob Dylan, but at the same time you had Jimi Hendrix covering Bob Dylan. It was all just like a different flavor of like the same thing, but
pretty much.
What was that? There's this one Bob Dylan song that's like really good. That I was the one that Steve Jobs was obsessed with, and I'm not sure if it was the.
I was just watching
changing. Yeah,
is it Times Are Changing? I really like that song.
I think it might have been Times, or yeah, no, I think that's what it was. I think that's the track.
Yeah, that anyway. Actually is one of my favorite albums from Bob Dylan. Is that album or his first one? Mostly because I like the. I forgot it was the one where it's like the farmer that kills his family. It's like. What was the name of the song? I forgot the name of it, but if anybody knows it, it's the one that's like something Farmhouse Blues or something.
Yeah. I can't think of it. Hey, yeah. Hey, Mike Garcia, Saturn Community Love. Yeah, thanks for joining the stream. By the way, guys, I forgot to mention, if you guys want to help us out and share out the stream, get some more people in here to join us for the hour, that'd be great.
I like more than it's Old McDonald. No, it's a Ballad of Hollis Brown. That's what it was. I'm sorry. That song's so good. Like, that's one of my favorite songs because it's so depressing. Like, the end of it is like, it's like there's 7 people dead on a South Dakota farm, and then somewhere in the distance there's 7 new people born. It's so tragic. It's like a what's that? It's like a rejuvenation sort of song, which I kind of think is kind of a sad. It's a bittersweet song, and I really enjoy that. So, if you like Bob Dylan, listen to Hollis Brown Blues. Best, in my opinion, one of my favorite songs by him. It's just so good.
Cool.
But yeah, look that up, guys. Yeah, actually, we could probably talk about a couple things. We don't have articles written up, but we can talk about some of the goings on. Like, I know the Phantasmagoria. Are you familiar with what's going on with that?
Yeah, well, I mean, that was a project that like four or five people involved in that, and I think Knight was one of them. And it was translating that 8-disc Saturn version of Phantasmagoria, and now of course everybody on a certain group is like doing long boxes of them and stuff like that. You're getting a lot of repros already, so you guys will have options. All right, okay, go ahead, Pat. Read up the write-up on Sega Extreme.
All right, so originally about April 3rd, 2000. No, don't click on that link. Thank you. LG30 talked about how he wanted to translate the version of Phantasmagoria. This is about an 8 CD disc that was exclusive in Japan, and of course, he wanted to make it a French and English version of it. So he tried to match and mess with the files for a couple of years, and then eventually, after a while, him and a couple other people in the community were able to patch it and release an ISO of all 8 discs of all the CDs.
That's one for your ODE, folks.
Yeah, you wanna get an ODE for that one.
Unless you really want to trash your Saturn CD drive with all of the. I'm just kidding. You probably wouldn't if you were careful, but again, that's a lot of wear and tear for one game.
That's a lot of discs.
There's a lot of mileage. I just cannot believe, like, it's still it amazes me. That's one of those relics. That's one of those things you would never see. Like, you would never see again. Is like them actually putting out a game on 8 discs. I don't think you would see that in the West, honestly. Can you think of one single console game that went that far? I can think of some that had like 6 discs, but 8 is kind of ridiculous.
That is a lot of discs.
It's kind of redundant nowadays. I mean, a double-sided Blu-rated disc will be what, like 100 or so gigs,
right? And
everything else can be downloaded off the internet.
True.
Yeah, that's a load of discs.
Yeah, it's just I can, and that's Phantasmagoria. There's some kind of really weird, strange, alien-looking bug in my garage. I'm checking out right now.
Don't die, Dave. Don't die.
Yeah, I'll try not to die. It looks like something from The Thing or something. Anyway,
The Thing.
Moving right along.
The Thing or The Thing.
If I killed it and gave it to the chickens, they'd be thrilled. But anyway, where was I? I was on a train of thought.
Where were you, Dave? Where have you been?
I was just thinking that there's just absolutely no way that I mean, even as popular as Phantasmagoria was, it was in English. They easily could have released it in the States, but of course, you have to take into consideration the fact that the Saturn wasn't doing too hot. But they didn't release it on the PlayStation either. Like with did they? They didn't. It didn't. It only was like PC
and Saturn. It was weird. It was like a couple different things. I know they released it years later for like the GOG stuff. So
it's weird because in Japan, in Japan, of course, where Saturn was doing much better, they did seem to have this initiative of releasing PC games because they had like Zork and Zork 2 on the Saturn in Japan, and that's kind of an interesting playing a text adventure like that on the Saturn. It's an interesting prospect, but they did it, and they had other games like that released on the Saturn in Japan. But yeah, another one that was translated recently, thanks to A Murder of Crows and Shadow Mask was
Death Mask.
Another PC game that they seemed to. Oh yeah, Dark Seed. Yeah, folks in the chat missed, and it's true. It was Japan. It was Sunsoft Japan that really pushed for Myst on the Saturn, and that's kind of what got the ball rolling with Myst rolling out to consoles and stuff like that. But yeah, so Dark Seed. What else can you guys think of? But anyway, yeah. So we just didn't get a lot of that in the States, unfortunately. We got Command and Conquer though. We got Command and Conquer.
Jeez. They should have got ported Don't Fear the Reaper to the Saturn. That would have been sweet.
You're just talking about the song?
No, there's a game called Don't Fear the Reaper with Christopher Walken.
Oh, right.
It's a PC game. There's a video content developer a video content producer, I don't want to mention his name, did a walked through that years ago. I used to watch him all the time. He used to be in Arizona too, but he is kind of not a good person anymore, so I'm not gonna give him advertisement for free. But yeah, that's how they introduced me to it. Yeah, if you guys look it up, it's called Don't Fear the Reaper. It's a FMV game that does feature Christopher Walken. It is the weirdest thing. I don't know if it was coincidental or they knew what they were doing, because I don't know what year it was. Obviously, because I think that skit was in the 2000s, right? The more cowbell thing, because that's when Will Ferrell was on. So I think
yeah, late 90s or early 2000s. I don't remember
yeah,
quite. But
if anybody wants to do some timeline comparisons in the chat, let me know and get back to me, and I'll give you a high five. So
but anyway,
yeah,
kudos.
Kudos to this
to the folks. So do you know? Can you find out like who all was involved? You said like 4 people were.
So the cowbell sketch was April 2000. This probably would have been before that then.
Yeah, Don't Fear the Reaper. I'll have to look that up. But yeah, I also want to say that people give him a little bit of flack because he basically just patched the ISOs directly, but he ended up Trekkies was cool enough and did a patch of it, and patches so that way they're able to fully enjoy the game. And I think so he patched it up and it was good to go. And the team that's behind it is of course LG30, who's the head of it, Kitchen 34, CED2911, and was it? And Anna, VBT, and Night of Dragon. So some new people.
You say CED?
Like
as
CED.
in the Fenrir guy? Said?
I think so. Said 2911. I don't know if that's. I think maybe he might have been working with it in terms of working on the Fenrir, but I don't know.
So does this use Knight's patcher? Like if folks actually want to download the patch and.
I believe so. It uses the. I just want to see what format it downloads in. So, that is
What's
fantastic.
up, AM?
Yeah, it looks like it's just a zip file. I'm pretty sure it's the Saturn patcher though. So
well, that's awesome. I mean, again, I'm definitely going to.
Yeah,
Nick
SSP,
talked about this game for our Halloween cast, I believe. Yeah, that was his choice, and we kind of talked about how ridiculous it was that the game even came out on 8 CDs. And I was thinking to myself, if it ever gets translated, I definitely want to take it for a spin, especially on Halloween. So maybe that's what I'm going to be playing when Halloween rolls around. I'll just stick all 8 of those images on the satiator and play some of that.
Have some fun with that.
But it is not. I can't have Jesse in the room because, from what I understand, it's not for kids.
Is that the one where the sheriff can kill you right in the beginning of it and blow up the town? Or is that a different game? I'm thinking.
I do not know that. I just know that Nick said that it was kind of racy, or there was some sexual content, and there's some like BSDM or something like that. I don't know. He basically said that it wasn't something you would want to play with a child present.
Okay.
So
well, that fixes it.
Yeah.
I do like when you're talking to the water bottle. You can hear the reverberations of the water bottle come back into the mic.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Check 1 2.
Gonna do about some jug band stuff. Ooh, do. But yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Well, I lost my good water bottle, so now it's just this.
You gotta do the reverberation one. I just have the good old Arrowhead water.
Nice.
I don't know if they. This isn't Nestle. I don't think so. But yeah.
Martin says that it's a game for Xenos because his mind's always in the gutter.
Bad.
Wah, wah.
Bad stuff. But yeah, if you guys want to check out the patch, go to that website and check it out. I think it's kind of cool. I want to try it out. I have not tried it out before, so I think it'd be a fun experience for me, or maybe a bad experience. We'll never
There's
know.
literally a sex scene in it. See, I haven't played Phantasmagoria. Like, I'm way late to the party. I didn't even play it when it was on PC. So, because
No
gosh,
PC
when it
love.
came out on PC, my parents would have killed me if I bought that game. I was playing like Titanic, Adventure Out of Time, when I was at it. Or they would let me play like Quake or Tomb Raider. But like, if I brought home that game and my parents like saw me playing that, they'd be like, "What the fuck are you playing?"
Avert your Christian eyes.
Yeah, well. Anyway.
Gotcha. But yeah, no.
You got me.
Never mind. That actually.
Jeez.
Shadow Mask's gonna get us banned. Thanks, Shadow Mask.
Yeah.
We are now off YouTube now because of you. I was not gonna bring that up, Martin. Hopefully that's not in there. Don't even say that. Don't even read Martin's message because that's gonna get us.
Well, I mean, it's
Yeah,
not much
don't even read
better
that.
when you're looking at Steam Hearts. Steam Hearts is, I think we talked
It has
about
a lot of that
too.
stuff.
Yeah.
Just
that
don't say
kind
the
of stuff.
sentence because I don't want to get flagged.
Don't say the word. We don't want
Don't say
YouTube
that.
to flag it.
Yeah, so that I'm not gonna. We're gonna acknowledge it, but yeah. Yeah, let's not do that. No.
Message deleted.
Oh yeah, jeez. R.I.P. R.I.P. Sorry, Martin. Lots of message redacted.
I love you guys. Okay, so what's up? What's next on the docket?
It's all good. Yeah, don't play. Yeah. So there's this cool thing that they linked us in the Discord. It's Hikaru. It's a supplemental Japanese English glossary for translators and localizers, and I believe just a glossary to build ideas of sort of words and just different localization ideas and translations. So maybe just like ideas for different words to. So it's like, okay, in context of this, what could it be, or best ways to say things, I believe so. Yeah, so just better use of words. And I think it's kind of interesting. It's like a open source dictionary. Maybe if Danthrax is familiar with it, or so I think he shared it out in the chat. But it seems kind of interesting. I was looking through it a little bit. It's like a dictionary for translations, like maybe some ways of phrases and words and ways to localize it. So it's like instead of making it bland, it's like, okay, this is another way that you can say this word or say this phrase or sentence, which I think is kind of cool.
Dantax, I actually do appreciate that because I am thinking about playing the game, and it's good to know before I go in terms of like, because like if there's something like that in the game, then I definitely have to be sure that I mean, we obviously can't stream that kind of thing, so it's good to know.
Yeah, anyway. but yeah, yeah, like I said, this is kind of cool. It's by Jericho Temerite. Am I saying that? I'm sorry. I'm Temati, whatever his name is, Mr. Jericho on Twitter. He has this cool media library thing. Check it out, share it out. It's got some retweets and likes. Yeah, it's like, yeah, and Danthra's saying, yeah, the site gives ideas how to translate and turn a phrase, so that doesn't work if you translate it directly, so that's kind of cool. Cool. So, yeah, check that out. Very useful. It's kind of open source, it's looking like, so if you want to add to it, add to the dictionary, help people out, just don't spam it and put different dumb phrases in there. That'd be great. Don't
NeoZed, you didn't miss that much. We're just talking about a racy game called Phantasmagoria. Some folks translated the entire thing for Saturn, and it's 8 discs, so tuck in. get your ODE.
Get comfy. Get comfy, kids. That
or get burning. But
exactly.
Either way, moving right along, we have an update to the satiator firmware, and this unbreaks it a little bit more. Actually, to be honest with you, okay, so okay, in all fairness, I want to rewind a little bit because I did kind of I'm a little underwhelmed with these bug fixes, because it's been like a year. But Dan Thrax was talking to me, and he made a really good point that, at the very least, the takeaway is that abrasive is now much more available, and he's like working on it again. So I think that we can all kind of look on the bright side and expect more, maybe some feature updates in the near future. But at least we know that he's like working on it, and he's addressing these things. So yeah, like anybody who was having audio issues with V19 or 159, this basically fixes that. So now the CD audio doesn't cut out. And actually, Dantrax, sorry.
Yeah, I just want to say, so a lot of these bugs were only reproducible using slower cards. Right. If you're still having a lot of issues, there is a built-in speed check in the menu. I forget how you get it. It's like pressing B or C on the main root menu. But a lot of the times, issues are addressable by getting a higher quality card, even if you need to get a smaller one.
True, but there were some actually. There were, like with 158, there were actually some Saturns that had I don't know, depending on the BIOS or depending on the board revision, they were having issues that other Saturns weren't having, and they try. I mean, even
it was hard to reproduce. Like I was part of, I was trying to test out some of those.
Right.
I went through several hours and probably like a dozen games or so that I was searching for people complaining about, and I could not reproduce any issues. And I don't know if it's my board revision or if I'm using like a 256 gigabyte SanDisk, which from Amazon they don't have the best reputation. I figured that would be an average use case. So a lot of the times, yeah, you're right. It could be due to board revisions. It could be due to SD cards. And it's hard to track down these bugs when they're not exactly reproducible. So, you know, if you are having problems, go to the Sadiator Discord and report them. And if you can, try to figure out what kind of Saturn you have as well as long, and also what SD card you're using. And Abrasive is very responsive, and he will try to get these things fixed as long as we can figure out how to reproduce it.
True, and I want to mention that. So yeah, I was almost thinking of not writing an article because, again, it's a bug fix. But Dan was right. Like, anytime something like this comes up, it is our responsibility to let folks know. And he actually sent, you know, I was just going to write a little couple sentences that said, here's the new firmware, download it. But Dan did a good job doing a write-up that he sent me. And so I went ahead and credited it to him and set him up with a writer account, because it turns out Dan actually works in newspaper editing. So
wow.
I was like, okay. You're qualified. Go ahead and feel free to write.
Qualifications met.
Yeah, feel free to write stuff up for our site. So thanks, Dan. I appreciate you taking the time and doing what is a better write up than I would have done for this. And so, yeah, no, it's great. And again, I agree with you. I think that it's good that there was like a job transition kind of thing. He's not with his old job, and now he's able to spend a lot more time on this. And so I think that we should be able to look forward to hopefully some feature updates with the Satiator. Yeah, but aside from that, did we have anything else? Wasn't there? Oh, we already talked about the 20-pin ODE switcher thing last week.
Yeah,
but that actually went up. Let's see.
We can go back to that article.
That went live this past Monday, so they're all gone. But anyway,
yeah, I'm gonna check the store. Out of stock. Sadness. That's a massive sadness.
Gone. But again, reminder to folks: he's gonna make another batch of 40. I guess he's doing them 40 at a time or something like that, because he's by himself. He doesn't have assemblers. And then he's also gonna be doing a 21 pin, which he said. So just sit tight if you're looking for a 21 pin on that.
Don't worry, guys. You'll get it eventually.
Yeah,
you'll get it, and you'll be able to do the switcheroo, the old switcheroo. But but
this next thing, this Best of Saturn that Peter wrote up, I think you were on a podcast where you talked to like John Hancock and you talked to Steve and stuff like that about this.
Oh, for this
cleaning kit, right? And there
was
like
with this object. What the hell?
That's the internet that's the browser not liking the emojis that were stuck in there, I guess.
I didn't put any emojis in there.
You didn't put any emojis?
I'm a quick edit. You're gonna see my password. Don't hack the SHIRO account, please. It's empty space. What the heck?
Oh.
Wait, no, yeah, best of at the space.
There was if you guys didn't catch that, I want to say like season 3, and this was the season where I was gone. I was like I was a new dad.
There we go, I fixed it.
I was like a dad times 2. Dad Redux. And I stepped away, and these guys, they did like a collectathon or collection podcast, and they talked about this Saturn cleaning kit with Sonic and Tails. And I believe there was a story about somebody drinking the cleaning fluid and like vomiting all over the floor.
Yeah, that was kind of bizarre, but yeah, that was the cast with John Hancock, and then not really known before, Steve Wright Jr., who there's a big saga behind that with his whole collection, because at that point I think he still had his collection, but when that went live he sold it. Yeah, he got it back then again, and then sold it again.
And sold it again. Yeah.
But yeah,
it was performance art. That was what that was. It was like a performance art.
It was interesting.
the act of acquiring an entire U.S. long box collection and then selling it was essentially an art form in and of itself, I guess.
Yeah, I liked it. A lot of people gave him flack for it, but
it was interesting though.
It was like, yeah, it was like the first person to do that twice in a row. So that's kind of cool, and it's kind of cool seeing him do that. And he actually is, I guess, now famous on YouTube. He has his own channel, Steve Wright, Mr. Wright Way or whatever I think is his channel. But
yeah, I almost don't feel like you could do that in any other state than Texas. Like that's where he is, right? Texas.
Well, he also traveled a lot, so
sure, yeah, Texas. But like Texas or Washington, like you could do that. Trying to build that kind of thing that quick here, like in San Diego or like in Arizona, forget about it. Like it's just. But Texas is a huge state, and there's a lot of games in that state. Of course, those there's a lot of YouTube channels in that state too.
Yeah, and not to mention he travels a lot, so he probably is able to go to. Because he does photography. I think I don't know if he still does for WWE.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, but the guy's pretty good though. He has a lot of good channel stuff, a lot of good stuff on collecting. He's a pretty nice guy too, from what I remember. No Ben and stuff. We interact with him. He's a pretty cool dude.
Yeah, he is a nice guy.
So yeah, I'm glad he's like up to 70K subscribers on YouTube now.
Man.
So this guy's on fire. So happy for him. Very religious guy. So he always thanks God for stuff, so that's pretty cool. But anyways, I just want to talk about this real quick. Little attendant. So basically,
you brought him up.
Yeah, I did. I just want to shout him out because But anyways, we talked about it on the show. It's official in a way that it's technically a bootable Saturn executable that you put a disk in and load, and it runs a interactive thing using the Saturn without any other means of booting it. So technically it's part of the set in a way, but
right, because there's a serial number, right, and there's like a game disc ID. Yeah, exactly.
So technically it's part of the set, but on, like we said on that podcast, we described and debated what a set is, and I think the consensus was a complete set is really what you want it to be,
right?
Like I don't know, like it's like there's so many different, because like technically even if you got this and the game set, there's definitions like, oh, do you count all the demos? Do you count the Netlink games? Do you count all the variation? And it's a never-ending debate on what a full set
honestly
is.
Collecting is just different degrees of OCD for different people.
Different degrees of crazy.
Like, either you care or you don't care. Like if you're able to just let it flow over you and you're just like, I don't care, then you can literally just get by with having only the games that you really enjoy, from your childhood or whatever. But if you're literally one of those people that are so OCD, you're like, technically I don't know the entire collection unless I own Netlink, unless I own Daytona Netlink, well then you are unfortunately going to be about $5,000 poorer.
Yeah,
I managed to collect all of these images on a single hard drive.
Hey, there you go. You're a digital archivist, a digital collector.
Yeah, digital collector, NFT man over here. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah.
But no, I just think it's kind of interesting. And one thing that I kind of want to do that would be insane is, you know what? Forget the US set. Just throw that. Like, I don't have a garbage can, but imagine here's a garbage can. Here's the set. Grab that. Click. Put the garbage can on. Pshoo, right in the garbage. I want to go bold. I want to do a complete Japanese set. Now that is crazy. Was it
not as crazy as those people who try to go for an entire Wii set, like with all the shovelware and everything and the Barbie mansion? And...
At least they could play it though. I mean, 90% of the games I'd get is 70% I wouldn't be able to play, or they'd be hentai games. So it's like,
I mean, you can play them. You can play them as much as you can play this lens cleaner. I mean, in so much as you can boot them up and press buttons.
I did find it funny that you actually can run it on an ODE, which I totally did.
Did you run it on an ODE?
Yeah,
That's
I did.
Funny.
Oh, so, I accidentally did that once. I forget if it was a Saturn or some other system, but it was Sonic and Tails, just dicking around for like 10 minutes while some sort of cleaning action supposed to take place.
Oh my god, that would be funny if somebody like hacked it so that it like formatted your SD card like
Just wiped your
and then
your SD card is now wiped, and it just you just Photoshop Sonic giving you the middle finger, like using this image right here. Just like your SD card is clean, go F yourself. But yeah, it's the way that it works though is that there's a brushel, whatever is on the CD, and basically it just triggers the CD to run really, really fast.
right.
So it will brush against the laser and lens completely while it does this cleaning animation. So literally, it just triggers the disc to spin.
Oh yeah, that's what I did. Okay, so it was a Saturn one.
Yeah,
I mean, like you could just take a cotton swab and some isopropyl and just clean your laser lens.
I guess they wanted this to be like a because they had a lot of CD kits like that back in the day.
Right. Oh
CD
yeah,
clean
they were
kits.
everywhere.
So like I'm thinking it's just like a gimmicky thing that they could sell to be kind of cool.
But
So
this was licensed. This was like official. So
yeah, it
you
was
had to
by
get it right.
C7. Who the only credits I could find is this cleaning disc.
Yeah.
So I assumed it literally was just a bunch of guys that do this for a living, like disc cleaners. Like, yo, let's make it for Saturn. It's like, oh crap, we have to program it, and then they got these really crappy made these Sonic drawings or renders and just made this dumb animation, and it's just awful. The disc is awful. Using it is awful. Like, there's no reason to even own this unless you want to collect it. Like, there's no like this is the best of, but like I said, this is the best of another best of worst of.
So on the note of the cotton swab thing, I just want to say you don't want to get like the standard Q-tip. You want to get a cleaning swab. They're super cheap on Amazon or whatever.
Right.
But it's essentially it's basically what we use in a clean room environment to prevent any bits of cotton flaking off. So on the off chance that something flakes off and goes in front of your lens, and then you have to figure out what the heck happened. Just in general for cleaning semiconductors, electronics, or whatever, I just get cleaning swabs. They're still cheap. They're more expensive than Q-tips, but Q-tips are pennies, and this is tens of pennies.
Right.
Yeah, those are the long ones with the stick on the end. That's just a stick, and there's a little thing on the end.
So the way they normally get sold is that they have green sticks, and then the tips are not like spun cotton. They're like a little weave, so nothing comes off.
Interesting. Can you link me to those? I think I might want to buy those for my cleaning sets.
Yeah, so they sell them for like cleaning printer ink things and whatever, but I use them in the lab. I put it in general
is correct.
SHIRO.
Yeah, NeoZ is right. I always use 99% isopropyl
Same.
when I'm working with consoles. And it's only 99% because they're not going to say 100. They can't guarantee that. But
so the way chemicals would be rated is the number of nines. So 99% would basically be 2.9, if I'm remembering correctly. And you can get much more expensive, much higher grade, like 5.9 stuff, semiconductor grade. You don't need that. I feel like 70% is good enough for most use cases, but 99 is also cheap and good enough.
Yeah, and it dries a lot faster.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. Pat, you raise your hand?
Oh no, I just want to hit Sonic in the head with my fist.
Yeah,
no,
but you're right,
NeoZ.
And I also suggest that folks are careful what they put on like their laser sleds and stuff like that. You don't want to use anything that's going to eat at the plastic. I usually use like a white lithium grease that works pretty well. But if anything that's like heavily petroleum based or anything like that can sometimes do some long-term like slow damage,
I would recommend using like polisher for a car. Put that in a cotton swab and rub that on your lens. That'll polish it up good and not melt it.
Here's if you're very careful, you can actually rectify it and get maybe better performance out of it if you just change the surface on it to a different focal length. I don't know.
Yeah.
You don't polish lenses if you don't know what you're doing.
Oh, that's right. And Emerald is a laser scientist, right? You literally are like, so
I've never had to polish my own lenses. I only cleaned them. You just if your lens is bad, you just buy a new one.
Right.
Polishing a lens is just a pain.
No.
What you told me that I can't adjust a pot on there and make it stronger? That's not going to work.
I mean, you could probably make it stronger, increase the output. Like as long as it stays cold, the output should be basically linear.
Well, you're lowering the resistance, right? Is what you're doing there with the pot.
I'm not familiar with the specific circuit, but if you're sending more voltage to the device, in theory, until you burn it out, it should put out more power.
Yeah. It's a resistor is what it is, and when you crank that potentiometer, what people tend to be doing is lowering the resistance, so it does allow more voltage through, and it just burns it out. I mean, if you're careful, there's a tolerance, there's a range of tolerance, but usually, it's not good.
I'm not very tolerant.
It's crazy. Like, I talked to Sam, the SSG, and he says he's had like 4 or 5 laser mechs on Saturn laser mechs go bad on him. I have 4 Saturns, and every single one of them works great, and I've never had a problem with it.
I literally never had a reason to like replace my laser in any of my Saturns. Like,
I always thought Saturn lasers were like some of the best, to be honest with you. So I maybe I've just had really good luck.
Probably, yeah. But I have an extra laser. I was gonna replace it with my Saturn, but I got the ODE, so it's just sitting in a box over there, just until the day I need it. When it dies, I will have one ready to replace.
Nice.
But until that day, it will remain in the closet. But yeah, this is a interesting article. If you want to pick this up, I think it's a couple $100 for this.
Good luck. Can you imagine, like, if you were the kind of guy that picked it up back in the day, just because you're like, I didn't know anybody who like bought these things. I thought they just kind of like ended up in like the bargain bins or something like that. I guess, but people bought them, you know, because
I think you could get them at Blockbuster.
You could, but like the thing is, who had the wherewithal to hold on to them until they got expensive? Because like, yeah, you have collectors pick them up now because of their rarity, but like, who actually bought one and like held on to it? You know, that's the thing.
No one.
I don't know.
Absolutely no one.
Sega made the best readers in the industry. I don't know. I've had a lot of issues with my Dreamcast lasers, though. But if you're talking about reading laser, Newsy is saying Sega made the best readers in the industry. I think he's talking about the lasers.
Read everything. But yeah, there's something else I was gonna bring up. I completely forgot though. I was gonna.
Well, yeah, you talking about the announcement we want to make, right?
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, I want to do that. Okay, cool. So we have an announcement, and. So this announcement is gonna call out somebody, probably embarrass them a little bit, but that's okay. He gave me permission. So there's a member of our community who has been not just active, but like probably more active than I have, to be honest with you. And I'm one of the original founding Shiros. And this individual has contributed, he has helped, he's been heavily involved with multiple projects. He's been present and active and engaged and is just always willing to give of his time. You probably maybe have already guessed who this is.
It's me.
all of this without even being asked. You know, that's the thing, is it never being asked, or rarely ever being asked. And so I'm really honored and privileged, and I know Pat is and the rest of the Shiros are, to welcome Anthony, Knight of Dragon, into this Shiro fraternity as an official member of Shiro. And we're really happy to have him be a part of this little family. It is growing. We want to grow more. We definitely do. We want Shiro to continue to grow and be capable of doing even more great stuff for the community. But yeah, I mean, like, Knight has been doing amazing stuff, and he's been very selfless and very helpful for so long. It seemed like it was about time that we gave him, you know, that we honored him like this, you know, and just, you know, made it official, you know, that, yeah. So we really love and appreciate Anthony. We really can't say enough great stuff about him, and we all really gel and work along well with him. So happy to consider you a friend, and happy to bring you on as an official member of our fraternity, Sega Saturn Shiro.
Welcome aboard, Mr. Anthony. Do you have any words that you would like to say?
Absolutely not.
What? There we
and that's
go.
about as much as I expected.
If you're inducting him into a fraternity, shouldn't there be a hazing ritual?
Yeah,
there will be hazing. There will be
there's
hazing.
a lot of hazing.
Pat has all sorts of stuff.
We're gonna make him translate the entirety of that to the Resident Evil project for me, and I get all the credit for it. That's the hazing.
Yeah, and I agree. You know,
with the hazing,
Knight rocks the Saturn scene. I mean, like, you know, exactly. Like, I kind of feel like Knight really embodies like the spirit of the Saturn community, helpful and active. Huge Saturn fan. You have to remember that he's a huge Saturn fan. and has great taste in games too. I mean, it's Shining Force, and just he's a helpful person. So it's like that's exactly what Shiro's all about. And I guess I'm gushing a little bit, but I knew that I would because I've been really excited to do this for a while. So, and I know Pat and Peter and Nick and Ben, we're all of the same mind on this. So
same mind,
welcome aboard, Anthony.
Same mind, same crime. No, but yeah, welcome aboard. It's great to have you aboard. You worked with us so much. You gave us so much stuff, and yeah, thank you for doing.
He's got
doing the
should
do.
have mod capability if you don't already, and should,
yeah. So if you get banned,
don't mess with Knight. It's not our problem if you mess with Knight on the Discord and you get banned.
All of his bans will be upheld, and I will laugh at you. No, I'm just joking. But
he'll drop that hammer.
I doubt he'll be banning anybody unless it's like some spamming thing where it's like, oh, I'm gonna spam the chat or I'm gonna post bad things in the chat. So don't expect to be banned unless you do something stupid. Like, it's kind of hard to get banned unless you like go out of your way to try to do it. Like if you threaten somebody, like maybe that's definitely gonna be a ban. So.
Mm-hmm. And he was clear that he was not interested in a leadership position, and that's great for us because we weren't really looking to grow leadership. The way we do leadership, it's like all of our decisions are unanimous. So I imagine if we keep adding to leadership, then we'll never be able to make a single decision. But
we'll never be another SHIRO thing ever again.
yeah, everything will just kind of be deadlocked. No, but seriously, but we're still growing our team SHIRO, and there's still a lot of cool stuff that we hope to plan and have planned for the future, and even stuff that we haven't even thought about that we can come together and create together. So it's exciting.
Fair enough. Welcome aboard, Anthony. And I think probably the best way to kick it off with him is to get controversial, and I definitely want to talk. I actually figured out what I wanted to talk about real quick.
You had something controversial that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, so I don't know if maybe it's just me, but I've noticed a rise on the YouTube reselling community. Like there's a lot of people that are reselling, but it's like, oh yeah, that's what we do. It's like I guess it's more an acceptance of it, and I thought it was interesting because it's kind of a framing for what was before. It's like, oh, F resellers, forget them. They rise up in pricing of games. They ruin it for everybody else. And I was curious what you guys thought of it and what you thought of it, Dave, in terms of the way it is, because I'm conflicted. Well, it is annoying, but it's some of it's kind of interesting. Like some of the channels, it's kind of interesting to see what they get and what they do.
I'm not clear on what you're talking about though yet. You're talking about YouTube channels that specifically exist like a home shopping network or something like that?
No, it's like
yeah. Okay, well, I've actually seen a few of these guys during my PS5 quest. It's basically there's these guys that have these full YouTube channels where they'll literally take a day trip to a dozen different Walmarts, and they find these secret clearance sales where $50 games going for $20, and they'll buy out the stock, and they run into other people that are also buying out the stock, and then they'll resell them at scalper prices. I'm sure that someone could sell Elden Ring for $100 right now if they wanted to. I know.
I meant more of that.
1,200.
It's more of that, but the guys that buy the retro games at cheap prices and then resell them and sort of.
It's like they're exploiting the platform, creating a feedback loop to help make money on the games and make money on their channel, and it's like this feedback loop. And honestly, I have not experienced that, but just listening to you say it, I get angry.
I guess.
To me, it sounds like a form of exploitation when you think about it. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel happy about that.
I just think it's interesting because there's been a rise of people. There's a lot of people that are like, what's interesting? It's a good way it's a cool thing showing them what they do. There's a lot of people that hate it. Like you see in the comments, oh, you rip these people off. Oh, you paid this amount for this game and it's really this, and you basically bought one game and the game for free and didn't even disclose the right price for it just to make a sale on it. And there's a lot of people in there. I don't want to call anybody out specifically. I just want to have a discussion because it's interesting, and I'm conflicted on it. Well, it is interesting seeing what they do and how they make deals. A lot of it's like the Amazon affiliate sellers where they buy stuff and flip it on Amazon. I don't know how that works exactly. Do they have to sell it to make money, or they put it on and get money? That's what I'm confused about.
I honestly don't know.
Yeah, if anybody knows,
I think Amazon works like consignment. I'm pretty sure you have to pay some sort of fee to list, and that may or may not come out of your sales, but you get to define the price and the shipping.
Yeah, I was curious if you like put it on and you get money instantly, or you have to actually sell it on the platform to make money.
I would assume you have to sell it before you see the money. There's no way someone's going to give you money on good faith to sell something in the future.
That's fair enough.
Well, you do get some kind of commission just for folks clicking your affiliate link.
Yeah, that's the affiliate thing, though. Yeah.
Oh, okay. We're not talking about affiliate.
No,
links
this is
then.
like people selling on Amazon, but yeah, it's
okay.
it's interesting, and I just thought it was a good discussion topic and seeing how people feel about it. Like, are people angry? Are people like, do they like the content?
You said you were conflicted, so
yeah.
Tell me this: what's the upside? Like, what's the good side of it that you feel like is a pro, and what do you feel is a con?
I like it from the entertainment side. Like, oh, cool, this guy found this deal in this game, or he's doing this trade. Like, it's like watching Pawn Stars, sort of, in a way.
Okay.
Think about that, where it's like, it's kind of like, oh, he's selling it and buying these cool things, showing off these cool games and stuff, and like, yo, check these games out, and
so
it's
you're
a cool
saying it's a
little
legitimate form of entertainment.
In a way, like, I know there's some people that like. There's this one that I watched that I liked, where they went to a hoarder house and found all these sealed games, which I thought was kind of cool.
Oh wow!
But on the other end of it, I don't like it from the point it brings the prices up. It sort of encourages people to flip games, and deals are harder to find. So like, I know OfferUp, it's everything's listed for marked up price. Usually you have to, the things that nowadays you have to scour for it, and it's like, is it really worth it at the end of the day to spend all day going around Goodwills to find things? So I'm a bit conflicted, but like, in all honesty, I'm not really big into game collecting anymore. Like, I pretty much have what I want. I have the ODEs for what I need. Like, the only thing I probably want is just more arcade stuff, but it's like, those aren't flipped. They're not going to be people that are like, oh, hey, I went to Goodwill and found 12 arcade boards of, no, you're not going to find like some guy finding 12 cave shooter boards. It's going to be private sales, people selling it, deals on stuff. So I never really experienced that with the arcade collecting, but it's still a thing that people have to look out for. I know the handicaps have been going quite a bit up in recently, but I think maybe that might have been a fluke of it, because I don't see them being sold for that incredibly outrageous prices that they do. It's usually 800 to 1,000, which is about right depending on the cab. I mean, I know the egrets are going for a lot more, but they're egrets. It's a rare cab. It's like expecting cave boards to not be expensive, but I just thought it was pretty interesting. At least.
Yeah, it is. I get what you mean. I mean, the truth is, I think we all have to accept that by now the retro collecting is just not what it was. You know, like, long gone are the days that you can, as an individual, just, you know, go to shops or go to a few garage sales and really score big. Like, you have to have some kind of hustle or some kind of angle going on like this. And that's the thing. I think people get kind of jealous, or they get kind of angry when they see people like with a hustle or an angle going on like this, social media driven acquisition of this kind of stuff, because obviously they have an unfair advantage, basically, you know, because we don't live in the days when just a single individual can just, you know, drive around town and find good deals anymore. They're just it's like we're in a drought right now and it's all dried up. What you really ought to be doing is collecting Switch games right now, or collecting Wii games, you know, and even Wii games. It's like those are the good ones are disappearing.
Literally, PS4 games are now getting really pricey.
Right. The thing is, it's just like people are trying to collect. It's just like
everyone's collecting everything.
It's hard to collect old antique stamps too. You know, there's only so many of them, right? And so you just have to accept and move on and like start collecting stuff that's more recent. Because if you're insistent on collecting some of this older stuff, you're just gonna have to eat the cost of it, and that's okay. For some people are willing to do that. Some people are willing to just save and then drop like $200 or $300 on a game and just be like, okay, you know, it took a while, but it was worth it, you know. And then some people are like, there's no way I would spend more than $100 on a game or something. So, you know, to each their own.
Yeah, but so over the last 4 years, I've resolved to start selling off my. I used to have a sizable collection, mostly Sega, and I've just been slowly selling things off, especially when I made the big move out west. And I honestly cannot see a reason to keep physical copies anymore with how complete the ODE market is.
Right.
That's a good point. Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
it is just a really big bummer because like there's a game convention coming up that I'm going to, Game On Expo, and I'm kind of scared to see what the prices are gonna be on those games. I thought it was bad when I went in 19. I don't even want to see how much stuff was going for. Because I remember I can't remember who it was exactly. Was it you, Emerald? That was like I was expecting to go with get a bunch of games, but like I only got like one or two things or something.
Sabetocon?
Was it Sabaton?
That's the one I went with you.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just a sadness, and really, it's like I don't know. It seems like a lot of it's better to sort of collect now for newer stuff. Like Shannon Mass saying he's been enjoying Soccer Wars on PS4, and I agree. That's a great game. It's about actually I think it's like $20 on Amazon right now, so brand new. So I mean, honestly, if Soccer Wars kicks off and it's got another renaissance, that game's gonna jump up. Yeah. So I don't want to be I don't want to do a spectacle buying, but that game's amazing game. I played it. If you just want to play it, just go play it. If you want to collect it, I mean, why not?
But if you're the kind of collector who if you're the kind of collector who just collects games that you love playing or games that mean something to you, another argument is the fact that, like, for example, maybe you collected, I'll use myself. I love Final Fantasy 12, and I have like the steel box version on PS2, but Final Fantasy 12 on Switch is arguably better in every way. It's got all the quality of life enhancements and improvements and everything like that. So I mean, if I'm gonna go back and play a version, I'm probably gonna play it on the Switch, or even play it on a PS2 emulator with like the resolution maxed out and all the better textures and everything like that. So it's like, you know, you can. There's also that thought that, I mean, if these games are going to continue to be available on newer systems and you just want to have a copy of the game, you know, like a physical copy of the game, you don't even necessarily have to have it on like the original console. I don't know. Collecting is so much different than just playing games. You know, it's different for everybody. It's hard to really, because everybody has different views on it, you know?
Yeah, and the best part is that if you really want a good system to collect for that's decently cheap for a lot of the good games, get PS2. Like right now, Yakuza 1, 2, and 3 on PS2 is 1 and 2 on PS2 is about $30.
Yeah,
pretty good deal. All the Ratchet and Clank games, all those other games are under $20. You would probably get them for less for all three. So there's a lot of options.
PS2 is amazing. Shadowmass says best way to play Final Fantasy 12 is on PS2 soft mod with the translated international version.
Yeah,
but there are some really nice quality of life improvements on this Switch version. I know what you mean. Like I had the nice quality of life improvements on the Switch version, like the map overlay while you're walking. You can increase the experience. For me, that's the thing, is now I'm playing through it. Pat, I'm not there anymore. Okay.
Sorry, I accidentally hit the disconnect button. That was my bad.
I'm playing through it as an adult now, and I have so much less time. So being able to put it on like 4x experience multiplier is really nice, because I can just like, I can just like farm a bunch of supplies and gil and increase levels while I'm watching whatever show I'm watching on Netflix or something like that. So that's nice, But yeah, no, anyway, I don't disagree with you, though. Playing it on the PlayStation 2 is great. And Pat's right. PS2 is probably one of the best game systems to collect for, because there are so many games out there, because it did so well. And it's a great system.
Yeah, NeoZ, you're required as a viewer to send me your sealed PS2 games. That is a requirement of the Shiro Show. If you could send that to my address at P.O. Box 309. Don't send me things. But, I guess all joking aside, yeah, like honestly, PS2 is really the most affordable right now if you really want to get into it. There's a ton of games for it, a ton of good stuff.
The shmups are really expensive though.
Yeah, the shmups are kind of expensive. But I mean, if you want
Coast to Coast, cost me an arm and a leg too, though.
Yeah, but I mean, if you want like a good price, like if you want to play, I want to play the Ratchet and Clank, so I want to play Jack and Daxter, I want to play what's the other Sly Cooper. If you want to play the classics and like the big sellers, even like Shadow of the Colossus and Eco, all of them are pretty much fairly affordable for the most part, unless there's some.
The Xenosaga or Dot Hack or a lot of those multi-part RPGs, they're kind of stupid pricey.
Yeah.
If you want to
yeah.
collect them, because if you want to play them, they've been released in HD remasters and stuff like that.
Actually, the original dot hack hasn't.
Oh, okay, fair. But
GU has the original dot. Honestly, the original dot hack is not a good game.
I liked it. That's my favorite one.
that is a point of view.
Yes, I love the dot hack series. What are you talking about, Emerald?
NeoZed is right. They
GU's
all
a lot
run good on FreeMcBoot. You know, I need to get a new drive for my PS2. I've got this 500 gigabyte IDE, and it's loud.
You don't want a hard drive load. You want a LAN load. You want to get a mini
you
server.
are correct. You are correct. I want to put everything on a NAS and do it over the network.
Yeah. It's
that's the
super
way
easy to set up SMB for PS2 on FreeMcBoot. FreeMcBoot does not have perfect compatibility though. I can personally say that Rogue Galaxy has a lot of issues, and it stopped me from wanting to play the game.
You're talking about on the open loader or the OPL? Yeah, you know, you're right. You're right. But you are also right about the NAS thing. That's just something I haven't done yet, but I would have every console that way if I could, you know, is just have every console just loading from a network storage. And then it's just like, you know, your game library is like your Plex, you know, you just play what you want to play.
In all
So
honesty, I kind of want to do that.
actually, I get less stutter on LAN than I do on HDD.
It depends on your connection too.
quality.
Yeah,
but
'cause
I mean, the connection it should be within your local area network, right?
Yeah, it is a little bit easier said than done though, because if a lot of people, is there a wireless module for the PS2 or no?
No, you're using LAN. You'd be using like wired LAN.
Yeah, so you'd probably, so yeah, that might be hard for some people because I know a lot of newer houses, especially out west, don't have like Ethernet connections. It's all a coax. Like this house, we actually,
You get like a 50-foot LAN cable.
Yeah. I, mean,
I guess, but like, it's like, oh yeah, mom.
You can do LAN repeated through your electrical wires. I've seen that done before. I don't know.
Oh yeah, the internet through the power connector, power line adapter.
I did though? You know what I did recently when I was in the garage and I didn't have the PS2 wired up. I installed all of my games over the Ethernet, right? Rather than like, you know, so I did a Ethernet bridge or like a Wi-Fi. I just connected the PS2 to my laptop and created like a bridge, you know. So I was getting, you know, 5 gigahertz or the 5G Wi-Fi, you know, from my router, and then like just sticking that over to the PS2. I wasn't playing that way. I was just installing games that way, like dumping them to the drive. But I don't know if that would work for playing. But anyway.
Yeah. Hey, if you guys want to give me info on that, I kind of want to do that right now. Like set up get that. Is there? I think the only pricey part is the adapter, right? The HDD adapter is like kind of pricey for that, or do you not need that?
The network adapter is your HDD adapter. It's IDE though. If you really want to put a hard drive in your PS2, I recommend a solid state and a SATA to IDE converter.
From my understanding, there are also like Chinese clones now of that adapter, so it's not
okay.
Really
it's
an
likely,
issue.
But I mean honestly, Trayno, you have like you probably have a server in your house you can run SMB off of.
I do. I actually have a NAS. I have pre-NAS though.
So yeah, I mean I'll show you exactly how I set mine up if you want later on. It should be relatively easy.
Drive out here and help me set it up next time. I'm just joking.
Yeah, the OPL Manager program actually helps you get all that stuff updated properly if you're doing it over network because you're handling it up via computer.
Shadowmass says
really
the clones don't do network support, so they just do
seriously?
HDD adapters, which sucks because like how are you installing those games? You know, like you're pulling the drive out.
You pull the drive out.
Yeah, I hate that shit though. I hate that shit. Like I just have all my game. Yeah, but I have all my games on my PC and then I just dump them over LAN to the HDD drive. Whenever I want to, I download a game and I just dump it over the LAN to the PS2. It's like instant.
Because I already have my ideal setup. Is I want to get the RetroTink 5X, I want to replace my FrameMeister with that, and with the FrameMeister in the living room, set up the PS2 on the TV, hook it up through a component, get the adapter, hook it up into there, get the SMB set up, and bam, I got a fully capable PS2 hooked up to my TV and my HD 50-inch. So
that'd be nice.
Yeah.
What do you need the FrameMeister for the PS2?
Just to get the as best quality as I can. I don't know if there's an adapter that can plug straight to HDMI.
I mean, you could do. You have a RetroTing 5X, right?
What?
Does Pat have a 5X?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay, all right.
The thing is that I want to use that as the SHIRO recording, and that's in my room, in the office. This is I want to hook up to the HD TV outside in my living room.
Actually, you know, the FrameMeister does really well with PS2. It looks really good. So
that's what I want to do.
As it is, yeah.
Honestly, maybe I'll even put it into my room. So I'll just like, because right now I'm using my PS3 Fat as my PS2 in my room and just playing HD through that. I think I might just like hook up my PS2, put that in there, and then do that whole setup. I just need to get room because it's kind of cramped because I have my Switch, PS3, and my PS4, and it's a bit cramped right now. A bit cramped.
Memphis, are you at work or can you say hi? He's like in the chat, but he's muted.
He's trolling.
He's trolling. Okay.
Anyways, I think we should wrap up. It's about 5:42,
yeah.
So
we ran over, but it's cool.
We had a fun discussion. Get to SMB, and like I said, Emerald, send me info.
We got a new. I think we got a new Patreon supporter.
Yeah, we do.
Last show. Yeah,
we'll shout him out actually because he is actually in the top 10. All right, so before we go, I want to thank our Patreon supporters: Emerald Nova, Johannes Fetz, Blue Moon 95, Derek aka A Team, Momphis, who's in the chat, Nutrage. Oh, also Emerald's in the chat. Nutrageous or Nutrageous, and then our newest patron, Robert Ramsey. Thank you very much, Mr. Robert Ramsey, for being our all-access patron. And then our last two, Tanuki Trev and of course Young Money So We. If you guys want to get shout out on the podcast like Robert Ramsey, if you back us at the $10 all-access Patreon level, we will be able to shout you out on the show and give you kudos for supporting our amazing efforts. Well, that sounded full of myself. Supporting our efforts.
Way to give yourself a pat on the back.
Thanks, Pat, for being so awesome. And of course, we also, I forgot to mention, should we tell them about what we're doing with the magazine with that? I think we announced it before.
It's in Pat's hands. Well, it was in Peter's hands, our editor,
it's
but
Pat,
he's still
I
in school.
I meant about the Patreon. Are we putting their Patreons? Oh. Yeah.
No, wait, what were you talking about the magazine? What?
We're going to put our patrons' names in there, or I think we're doing that, right?
We have, yes, we did. We are, yeah. It's in there.
The Patreon names are in there, so if you guys want to get shout out on the magazine, have your name in it, definitely back us on Patreon. I think, is it everybody from the $1 level and above, or is it just a certain tier? I can't remember. I think it's everybody, right?
I literally put every single one of our Patreon supporters in that
Okay,
magazine.
that works. So yeah, if you back us on the $1 level and up, you will be in the magazine.
Immortalized.
I think we might need to, I don't know if we're going to have time to add everybody as of now, but for the next issue, does it matter? Will we get them in there? We'll figure it out.
It's not that hard.
Okay, if you guys want to support us to get shout out in the magazine, which is coming out fairly soon, like we're like this close of releasing it. I'm gonna set aside time, do the look through, make sure there's no weird things in there.
It's not my fault anymore. It's Pat's fault. So you can punch him.
Yeah,
if
throw me directly under the bus.
Don't kill me because it's Pat. Pat needs to just sign off on it. Actually, full disclosure, I had a Terra Onion mode ad in there. I don't feel uncomfortable saying this. They kind of said some mean things. And I don't like that. Yeah. I don't like that. And of course, like, here's the thing. I like the mode, okay? I do. I like the mode, but I mean, we're also a family here. We're a community. We just want to support. We want to encourage people to be nice, and we want to encourage people to be uplifting and treat each other well. So yeah, there was some things said that I kind of feel, and Pat agrees with me, that we kind of feel uncomfortable endorsing that, because again, every ad that we put in the magazine is an unpaid endorsement by us. So if we put that in there, we're technically endorsing, and I just kind of feel like we're probably going to replace that. I think I'm going to replace it with a bulk / patch ad, because that's kind of where I was going anyway. But we ran out of space, because. So I'm going to put something like that. And then we're already starting to think about the next issue. So there's going to be a lot more cool stuff in the next issue. But we got to get this first one out. So
it's a sadness, but I mean, at the end of the day, like even if we really, I do agree. Even if it's we like the device, it's still like we're putting being like, hey, here's this is what we endorse, and it's like we're putting our names out as an. And it might come off as we're okay with them.
I'm not canceling anybody either. I'm just saying, like, I'm not like gonna signal boost something that I feel like
might give us a bad rap.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's totally fine anyway, because guess who we're promoting? We're promoting Abrasive and the Satiator, and we're promoting SED and the Fender, and those guys need it more anyway. So those guys deserve it more.
But what about I mean, normally I wouldn't be one to do this, but JDMU and the Phoebe and the Rhea, because those are technically still in production, even though it's impossible.
That's the thing. We're promoting things that people can actually read the magazine and be like, okay, I want to go buy this, and they can buy it. That's another thing. You have to be able to buy it, because otherwise I can think of a million things that we could put in there that are also unobtainium. But that's the thing is that we're endorsing like the things that we believe are helpful and available to the community. For example, the Retrobit pads are a good it's a good solution. They're not perfect, but it's a good solution for folks to be able to replace their corded pads, or be able to obtain some wireless pads that don't cost an arm and a leg like the IR pads and stuff like that. So but yeah, I wish I could, but again, it's just the whole process of actually trying to buy one of those is not like a commercial kind of thing. You can actually buy those other solutions. So
yeah,
right, Pat?
Yeah, no, but we fully endorse that. If you can get any product, that's all pretty much good. It's just like we can't promote stuff like, oh, I can never get it. And it's like it's in the magazine. Oh, I'm sorry, we just sold out. Right.
I mean, Pat has one, but even he
in my kiosk.
Yeah, exactly. So, but Pat had a great idea, and I actually like this idea of doing like an absolute full-blown extravaganza, several pages comparing all the ODEs, doing like a shootout.
Exactly.
I think it would sound cool, and we'd have like a spreadsheet showing you like features, verses, and everything like that, and price and all that stuff. And of course, everything would be included in that. I think that would be cool.
Yeah, it's something I need. Yeah. Anyways, we'll finish up the shouts out and thanks.
Sorry, Pat.
But yeah, thank you again, guys, for supporting us. Think we got pretty much everybody. So on the Patreon, if I forgot anybody, just yell at me on the thing. But if you don't want or can't support us financially in that aspect, you can also go to our Threadless store right here on the website and get these awesome shirts. So we got the cool green baby PCB. We got the SHIRO Revolution shirt, which I kind of think is kind of cool. I like the hand. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of cool shirt designs. Of course, the CRT, the chokehold, the classic logos.
You got the classic.
Right
classic. You go
classic
into
logos.
And it's got what is it? SHIRO podcast videos, articles, and news.
Yep, all the good stuff. But yeah, and if you can't support us financially in another way, you can also support us on our social media things, so our Facebook groups, Patreon, Twitter, Discord. Give us a shout out. So there's all our social media. Let's do a quick walkthrough of our Facebook group. Don't look at my text messages. Actually, I probably should get off that so you don't see my messages.
Don't look at his internet history.
Don't. But yeah, on our Twitter, look on our Twitter about this cool posts.
We know what he's about.
Sure.
Shh. And share us out, like, subscribe, comment, like our video, thumbs up, ring the bell to let us notify you when we go live and when we put new videos up. So that's always a good thing. And
if you do any cool stuff in the Saturn community, let us know about it, and we'll help tell the story
and promote it.
Promote it.
Yep. But I think that's about it. Do you have anything else, Dave, before we head out?
You must not forget to play Sega Saturn. I said that totally wrong. You must play Sega Saturn, but don't forget. Peace.
セガサターンシロ